So if it wasn't for the work that I did at Singora Girls, I don't think I would have been in the United States. The beauty with us in the U.S. is we are together. We have no tribe, we have no ethnicity, we are Kenyans. Stay connected with a community. Could be a church, could be whatever, but do not leave by yourself. When that encounter happened where I was hurt and this right here, and I ended up being in the emergency, I was in a coma. So when I got back, I remember, I thought I was dead actually. So I remember asking God, I said, God, if you give me this opportunity to leave.
How long were you in a coma?
I think it was about a week. So I said, God, and I remember that was in North Carolina. So I said, God, if you give me this opportunity to leave, I will leave for you and I'll speak up on this topic.
From a mentor to a CEO, mother, I'm talking about Phylis Jerono, a professor from the University of North Carolina, Central University in the United States of America. Phylis breaks to us how it has been for her going through domestic violence in the midst of her career and also raising her two beautiful daughters. Enjoy the show.
Jerono Phylis Rotich, a professor of kinesiology at the North Carolina Central University in the United States of America. She is the CEO and founder of Women and Youth and Global Diversity Consulting, a firm that advocates for the empowerment of women and the youth. Professor Jerono is the current president of the Kenya Scholars and Studies Association, KESA, and the Carnegie African Diaspora Fellow. She also served as a commissioner on the status of women in Guilford County, USA. And now, let's delve deeper into this mentor, mother, activist, CEO who has endured social and domestic violence to become what she is today.
Welcome to the show, Prof.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation.
For those who don't know you, tell them your name and what you do.
My name is Professor Jerono Phylis Rotich. I am a professor of kinesiology and department chair at the North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina, USA. I am also the president of the Kenya Scholars and Studies Association. That's an organization that brings together scholars outside Kenya. And we have conferences, we have meetings, we have a journal, we have publications, so we do a lot of great work in focusing on Kenya. I'm also the CEO and founder of Kenya Students in Diaspora. I am also the CEO and founder of Women and Youth Consulting. And then among other organizations that I serve in Kenya, I am on the National Executive Board of Kenya Christian Fellowship. I am also on the board. I've served as a president for the Katapka and vice president, and then I'm a commissioner for research and publication with the International Council of Traditional Sports and Games. And I'm a proud mother of two girls.
Come on, the introduction. You bear so many titles. I mean, there are a handful. How would you like me to address you?
Just call me. Just call me Prof.
So, Prof Jerono, yeah, the people who are in the US perhaps have met you, and people who are in Kenya, because I understand you do a lot of things. When did you go to the US?
I went to the US in August 1995. I received a scholarship, a graduate assistantship, to do my master's in sports science at SUNY Brockport, New York.
What does sports science involve?
So sports science is actually a bigger field now. We call it kinesiology, that looks at the study of the human movement, the body, of the kinetics of the human body. So it encompasses all fields in sport. It includes sports science, exercise science, sports medicine, exercise physiology and anatomy, sports psychology, physical education, teaching and health. We have also athletic training, conditioning, we have therapy, physical therapy. So it's an whole field that encompasses the study of the human body, the movement. So yes, it's a very interesting field. I did my undergraduate at Kenyatta University.
Oh, you're an alumni of KU?
Yes, I'm an alumni of KU, and then thereafter I was teaching at Singora Girls and at Kenya Science Teachers College before I left to the US. So I've been there for 28 years.
28 years. What got you to go to the US?
I was teaching and coaching at Singora Girls. And I used to travel with the student athletes. So I know those who are in Washington, Seattle, now Oregon. I hope congratulations to all those who have won. So I worked very hard with the girls. And one professor, her name is Professor Jerono Thompson, she had come to visit her sister, and she liked what I was doing. She was very impressed with my professionalism, what I was doing. And she asked me if I wanted to come to the U.S. because she was preparing to take her sister to go to the United States, Linda. So I said, sure, who would say no to the U.S.? Yeah. So then she traveled back, and I was at Kenya Science. I transferred to Kenya Science. So she sent me the application forms for SUNY Brockport, and that is how I got there. So I always tell people, whenever you're given an opportunity to do something, do it so well, because first of all, God is watching and others are watching. So if it wasn't for the work that I did at Singora Girls, I don't think I would have been in the United States. So I do want to thank Professor Jerono Thompson for opening that opportunity for me, because I hadn't thought about it.
When you set foot in the U.S., you just came from Singora Girls. What was that one thing that struck you?
The culture. The culture was very different. And you know, I went to, you've been to the US, but I went to Brockport, that is near Rochester, near Canada. It was extremely cold. So the weather was bad, because I went there in August. So the weather was amazing. The weather was bad. It was freezing. It was cold. It was snowing. So the weather and the culture was extremely different. It was
winter.
It was winter. It was the beginning of winter. So the weather was a shock because it was cold, it was snowy, it was winter. I didn't have the appropriate dressing for the weather. And then the culture is predominantly white place. Upstate New York is white. So the culture was extremely different because there were very few people who looked like me. And then going to the class, the expectations were just different. I remember the first time I went there, the first day I went to class, because our classes were in the evening. I was a graduate assistant, so I was teaching during the day, and then I had to go to class at night. So the first night, the professor gave us a 5-page assignment that has to be typed. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even have a laptop. I don't even know how to type. So that was like, wait a minute, I think I'm at the wrong place. So it was just, but it was a big culture shock. It was a big transition, but I did it.
Tell me about you being a mother of 2 kids,
yes.
2 beautiful girls. They are all grown right now. When you went to the US then, how were they? How was it for you?
So when I got my I-20, I thought I would travel with my daughter, who was at that time 1 year old. And the embassy did not allow me to travel with my child. At that time, I didn't understand why they were denying me, but later on, I truly appreciated that because there was no way I could have managed. So I ended up traveling alone, and my daughter joined me 1 year later with the father. So that is Valerie. She's 28 years old now. She came to the U.S. when she was 1 year old. She's doing very well. She works for a nonprofit organization in the U.S. and she does donor development. And their program has a school in Mahuru Bay.
Yes.
So she was here in May. She travels a lot. They focus on empowering women and youth. So she does an amazing job, just like her mother does.
Yeah, I think she's picked after the mother.
Yes.
Yeah, what about your younger daughter?
My youngest daughter, Vienna, is 25. Valerie has the same birthday with me, so she just turned 28. Vienna is a student. She's doing a master's in information science and business administration. Yeah. So she's finishing up in December, but right now she's doing an internship with Dell. So she's busy working full-time in the summer and taking classes. Mm-hmm. And they're all adults. I've been here for 2 months and they're all taking care of themselves.
You must be so proud as a mother.
Extremely proud. I could not have asked for greater children and greater daughters like that. They're beautiful girls. They love the Lord. They work very hard. They're very responsible, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. So I'm very proud of my girls, and I want to thank my mother because she raised me well, and that's how I'm able to raise my children well. She's a lovely, wonderful mom. Yes.
Tell me about your scholarly work, because I understand you have a lot of partnerships, going on with the University of Nairobi, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, so I'm actually here in Kenya under the Carnegie African Diaspora Fellowship. So that is a program that is funded. They actually fund projects in Kenya. So right now we're actually 14 of us who have been funded by African Carnegie Fellowship, and they fund projects. So the universities here in Kenya, they submit a project, and then they match the project with a faculty member who is from Kenya in the United States. So I was matched with a project at the University of Nairobi, and this is actually my second consecutive year. I was here last year in June and July, and you can only do 2 years, so this is my last time. So I've really enjoyed working with the University of Nairobi, Department of Physical Education and Health, and we're doing mentoring, curriculum development. I'm actually serving right now, I'm serving as external reviewer, so we've been reviewing dissertations, theses, the exam, and just doing whatever they need me to do. So I do want to thank Drs. Munai and Dr. Otieno and the leadership of the University of Nairobi for opening doors for us to come here. We have free services from diaspora scholars who are eager to give back to our country, Kenya. So we want to share the skills that we have learned, any opportunity that we can link. So part of what I'm doing is mentoring graduate students, working with faculty on research, reviewing their curriculum, their external exam, and also developing that international collaborations. I was able to travel I was invited to go to Kabarak University. They were actually looking at establishing a relationship with the Indiana Bloomington, the School of Public Health and the School of Medicine. A few weeks ago, I was invited as a guest speaker at the Mayo Institute of Technology University, and I spoke there, and they're also looking for those opportunities. So if there are any universities out there who are looking for collaborators, reach out to Kenya Scholars and Studies Association, KESA. We have many, many professors and professionals who are willing and ready to assist to improve the education in our country.
Great. I see that you have so many professors, in that specific organization. However, you understand that we have such a big gap in Kenya. Right now, we don't have as many professors, in academia as we would have hoped to be. What do you think could be the problem?
I think it's the opportunities there and also the willingness to really recruit from diaspora. Like you said, you're right, we have many professors. This is our 14th annual conference, and the embassy, the Kenyan embassy, have closely worked with us. The Ministry of Education have also worked very closely with us. They're very supportive. They come to our conferences so they can attest to the level of the professionals that we have, to the level of skills that we have, and to the level of commitment and the love and the passion that we have for our country. I'm just not sure if there's been that efforts by the Kenyan universities to really reach out to us as professionals. We can help with research, we can help with whatever they need. So I just hope that they can be more receptive, they can come, help has been very interested, and they've really participated and supported us. So I do want to applaud help with that under the leadership of Ringera, because through that, a lot of us have actually paid back our loans. So we just don't support with research, with scholarship, with mentoring, but we're actually giving back. Something like help, we're paying our loans back. I think most of our KESA members have actually repaid their loans back. So we work very closely with those organizations.
Let's now talk about those who are not yet in the diaspora, the students especially, but have plans to go to the diaspora. Do you have anything for them?
Yes. So those who are traveling, first of all, congratulations for even thinking about coming to the U.S. It's a great place with great opportunities. But before you get there, just take some time to read about the state that you're going to or the university that you're going to. Make sure you understand the place very well. You understand the do's and the don'ts, the weather and things like that. And even before you get there, we even have students who are members of KESID who are still here. I will have one who is a wonderful student. There's some students who are at Arkansas State University. They joined KESID even before they came to the U.S. So because they have this network We have WhatsApp, we have 4 WhatsApp groups, we have a Telegram, so you can ask any question. So join that, seek out, go to the website, reach out to any of us so that we can guide you. So that as you step into the U.S., you have an idea of what to expect. You have networks, you have people that you can reach out to. We can assign you to a mentor even before you get there. So again, do your homework and do not be isolated. The problems that we've seen with the students who don't do well in the U.S. is they come in there and they stay on their own. They don't want to reach out to the Kenyan community. They don't want to reach out. They are not connected to any faith-based organization. They are not connected to any community. So they're on their own. And then what happens is when they run into problems, like they lose a scholarship, they get sick, they get, all kinds of stuff happen. Life happens in the U.S. Yeah. So we tell them, as soon as you get there, reach out. We have so many organizations. Like I said, we have KESA, we have KESID, we have Kenya Christian Fellowship. We have different organizations for different ethnicities, Kotapka, for example. So reach out. Reach out to them, reach out, go to church, be a member, be seen in your community, be present in your community, and don't live alone. In America, we call it social investment. You have to invest, you have to get connected with people, otherwise life can be difficult.
Now that you raise social investment, there's this thing that keeps, coming up, especially when one of us gets to lose their loved ones, or we have loss of lives in America, and then we have to have the body brought back home. Are there any mechanisms that have been put in place? Because the last time I checked, it has been hectic and very, very expensive.
That's a wonderful question. I'm actually glad you asked. We have so many organizations. That's why I said get connected to the community. We have benevolent groups. So we call them benevolent groups. So you become a member, like in North Carolina, we have about 5 different ones, among the Kotapka. So there's so many benevolent groups that you can belong to. What happens there is you contribute. So let's say somebody loses their loved one. We recoup. I'll give an example of the one we have in North Carolina. Is somebody loses a loved one, each person contributes $40. That's not a lot of money, and we're able to give that person up to $5,000. That's more than enough for them to get a ticket. And those who are not able to travel, at least they can send that money home. So if you're part of a benevolent group in your community, then you are fine. The problem is with these people, again, who do not want to belong to a community. So what happens is, if you don't want to belong to a benevolent group, what that means is you don't want to help somebody when they have a problem. But when you have a death in the family, you have something that goes on, you want to be helped, right?
Yeah.
So the people, they're like, where have you been? So it's a two-way traffic. So join in there, something happens, and when something happens, you get the money immediately. You get your check immediately, then that way you're able to travel home and you're able to send the money as you need. Again,
are they formally registered kind of groups?
Yes. Most of them, they're actually in every state. So that's why I said get connected, find out what is going on. There are so many of them within communities. The reason is they're within your local communities because we want to make sure that it's actually real. So for you, let's God forbid you say that I lost somebody. Yeah. Some people, we have good people. We have very good people. Well, we have some people who are not really good, right? You know that, right? So they'll make a story. They said I lost my grandma. No, we don't cover. I lost somebody, but they're lying. So we want to be in that network so we can actually verify to say, is that true? So you join the organization, you give a list of all your siblings, somebody refers to you. So if you lose somebody, is that true? And you get your money immediately. So again, I cannot overemphasize that. Stay connected with a community. It could be a church, could be whatever, but do not live by yourself, especially our young people. The young people that we see coming in nowadays, it's very difficult. We only get messages when something bad has happened. I've been in that position. I've received so many phone calls, especially from colleges. So we have a student here who has died or who is sick or something has happened. We need help. Or we even have people who die and there's no one to reach out to them. Yeah. So again, it's like you said, the beauty with us in the U.S. is we are together. We have no tribe, we have no ethnicity, we are Kenyans. So we love one another, we work together, and we will come in to support one another anytime. But you gotta be mad. You gotta belong to the community.
You gotta belong to the community.
So I'm going to prepare. You know, in the US, as we do everything. We cook, we clean, we drive, so karibuni, I hope I'll still remember my cooking skills at home.
Let's see what you got.
Karibu jikoni.
Thank you.
So I hope you help me to make some nyama hapa hivi.
Good.
So we have.
I love
that.
nyama.
Wait a minute.
Just hold for some time.
Okay, good. Okay, good, perfect. So, yeah, this is a little bit of what we do. You know, in the US, hatuna maid. We are the drivers, we are the maid, we do everything for ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're used to doing this. So we get up in the morning, we make breakfast,
Yes.
we come back, toa viatu, we go straight into the kitchen.
Great. And now that you're talking about kupeleka watoto shule, go straight to the kitchen. Tell me about your personal life, Prof.
So I am currently I'm a single mom.
Yeah.
You know, life happened. I went through some challenges, like violence, a few things here. But you know, I looked at those as teachable moments. I learned a lot, and to me, when I went through all those stuff, it felt like I was knocked down, but I was not knocked out.
Yeah.
So I realized very quickly that I need to bounce back so that I can take care of my children. So I'm a single mom, I'm a very proud mother of 2 girls, beautiful girls who are doing very well. So what I do is I've worked very hard, realizing that as a single parent in the US has not been easy.
Yeah.
So I've taken that initiative myself to really focus on the why. What really took me to the United States.
Yeah.
And what took me to the US was to get a better life, was for my children to get a better education. So then, of course, we put God first. I'm a born-again Christian. I love the Lord. So we put everything that I do, I put God first. So my day starts at 5 o'clock. I wake up in the morning. I join the Global Prayer Network that was started by Reverend Grace Como. After my prayers, I do some exercise. I have a little machine in the house. I do my exercise.
Yeah.
And then after that, I shower, make breakfast. Now that my kids are grown, I don't really have to cook for them.
Oh, yeah.
But ideally, when they were young, I make
You
breakfast
do that,
for them, and
yeah.
then I get ready to go to work. So my day starts with prayer and exercise, so that by the time I get to work, then I'm fully prepared to face the day. I have a 45-minute commute, so I drive 45 minutes to work. And I take my work very seriously. To me, just like, I love to cook, I clean, I do everything.
Yeah.
Hata shamba, by the way,
Unajua
I
kulima.
have a little kashamba. I have a little
Like
kashamba,
a garden
but
or
I have
something.
a little garden, so I plant. So I have managu, I have tinsaga. I don't know if you have tinsaga, but we do a lot of tinsaga. So I have my managu, I have my tinsaga. So when I'm not at work, I spend a lot of time in the garden. I love flowers. So my life, I believe, a very simple life, but a very focused life. I look at my job as a mission field.
So perhaps you just tell me these bits about you going through domestic violence.
Yes.
Yeah. Because a lot of women go through that.
Yes.
And not so many get to talk about it.
Very true,
Yeah.
very true. So I went through domestic violence. It was actually really bad. It got to a point where I almost gave up in life, and I almost gave up. Took my life away and that of my children. But I remember one afternoon when life was very hard, some friends of mine, I'll never forget about them, they stopped by the house, and it was a prayer group, so they stopped by the house, and
You want to cover this prayer?
it was actually an interview. Oh, ugali is ready. We need to make ugali.
We need to make
we know
ugali.
we multitask, by the way.
So I think I can be making okay. Can I be making ugali and then you'll be making the
ugali? We
Okay.
have to switch this one up hivi.
Can I? Oh.
Sure. Please help.
So nipikie wapi mimi?
I think we'll move this one up on the opinion. You still remember how to cook ugali?
I know how to cook ugali. What do you mean?
You do. I think we need to move the ugali this way.
Hope it's not too
Yeah,
hot.
like I said, as we do everything for ourselves. So mimi mezoea hii kazi. I clean,
It's
I
okay.
cook, I drive, I do everything. We are the drivers, we're the. So when I went through life,
Yeah.
the
How do I get to like this? I think I can
just
figure out.
Just figure it out, yeah. Okay, baby.
No, that one is the last one.
Usichome mboga yangu. Is that? Okay,
I don't know.
To use that one. Okay, may have. Okay, perfect. There you go.
Oh, I may have to use the last one. It looks bigger.
Let's use the last one.
It's okay.
So you were telling me about life. So this group, to me, I believe they were God sent.
Yeah.
Because they came at the right time when I was really tired and I was exhausted. And I was about to lose my scholarship at school because at that time I was left with 2 children by myself, and they were very young.
Yeah.
They were actually 5 and 8. So my struggle started from there because I didn't have anybody to support me. I had to work from 8 to 5, and then I had to take classes in the evening.
Yeah.
And then I had to do homework, and so I ended up getting a 3rd shift job so I could work at night and do all these things. So honestly, life was not easy. But by the grace of God, I really focused on my why. Like Simon Sinek says, if you know your why, so my why really helped me to keep focused, to keep moving, and to keep doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
You got that? Okay. That we're good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just
Kwani wewe unamwaga unga yote?
sawa nisimalize.
Nataka kumaliza unga yangu ya mmoja.
Yeah. So tell me, you know, I'm still interested when you are married and then you're going through domestic violence and you have kids. How old were the 2 beautiful girls then?
Yeah, so I got married here before I moved to the US.
Yes.
And then my kids.
Sorry.
Where is my
I can see a towel here. Yeah.
So my kids were very young when I was going through this tough life.
Yeah.
So I ended up being by myself.
Yeah.
But thank God my siblings were there. I had taken my brothers to the US, so they were able to help. So they supported.
Yes. Your brother were there?
Yeah. Okay. But it was not easy. It was not easy because in the US, for one, I could not afford to take them to daycare. I hope this is how you cook.
No, I mean, we eat, everyone has their own skills, eh?
Just trying to
unajua kila mtu anapikanga design yake.
Just trying to.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day,
Yeah,
utakula. This is how we eat. Sisi tutakula hivi. Wewe maisha yetu as long as you have food at the table. So this is some choma, some boozy.
Yeah.
I see your thing to go.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle because I had to vent by myself. So I reached out to the church, really helped me. My friends and church members were really there to stand with me.
Yeah.
But also, like I said from the beginning, I have wonderful children who kind of figured out from an early age that their mother was struggling. So we struggled together.
What was their reaction, their responses?
It was tough. It was very tough because they could see the struggle. But I remember my professor, and I'll never forget her name. Her name is Jewel Cooper. She told me, she says, my dear, don't let your children see you crying. And I tell women this, when you're going through a tough time, don't let your children see that you're struggling.
Yeah.
So she told me, she said, go take care of your children, put them to bed, and cry all you. And that's what I did. I used to have a hard face.
Yeah.
When they go to bed, I cry all I want to cry. And then by 5 o'clock, I wake up again and put up a tough face, a hard face. And so, you know, and to all the single mothers and to all the single parents, wherever you are, I really applaud you. It is not easy being a father and a mother. But to me, when that happened, and I don't want to get into the details, the nitty-gritty part, when that happened, I realized that was my new normal. So to me, my new normal was I was here as a single parent in a foreign country with very limited support and with limited resources. So I stood by God. I really seek God, and I made time for my children. That's the beauty of the party is I sacrificed my sleep. So I made time for my children. I was there in school. I was there as a parent when they needed parents to be at school. I was there to do their homework. They never missed anything. They never lacked anything. So that is what I did. And, you know, by the grace of God, I graduated. So my kids actually should get a PhD because we went to school with them. You know, I literally used to take them to class in the evening because I used to teach in the morning from 8 to 5 as a graduate assistant. But then at night, my classes were from 6 to 9. So I used
So
to
you
bring the
teach
kids.
during the day and then in the evening?
Yeah. So 8 to 5,
That is a
you work
hectic
in
schedule.
Everyone's idea na maji mboga yangu itachomeka.
It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay, kidogo tu.
Tuweke kasupu.
Kasupu kidogo, yeah, tuweke
Kadufu.
kasupu. Yeah, tuweke kasupu kidogo.
Is this enough?
You know, my kids used to love soup. So yeah, that should be enough. Yeah. So then I used to teach from 8 to 5 because as a graduate assistant, you're required to teach. You're required to work 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, all our graduate classes are in the evening so that they can accommodate professionals, those who work during the day.
Yeah.
So nikimaliza at work at 5, nakimbia nyumbani na wachukua watoto from school, and then I bring them to class. So my children were always sitting behind. They were very good girls. They sat there, they did their homework until I graduated.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was not easy, but it's, you know, by the grace of God, I stood firm. I was resilient. I focused on what I came to the country to do.
For how long, you know, were you married, and where did it get for you to realize that you need to be out of that marriage?
Yes.
Tell me, what was that turning point for you? You know, umefika mwisho sasa.
Yeah. So when that encounter happened, where I was hurt in this right here, and I ended up being in the emergency. I was in a coma. So when I got back, I remember, I thought I was dead actually. So I remember asking God, I said, God, if you give me this opportunity to leave.
How long were you in a coma?
I think it was about a week. So I said, God, and I remember that was in North Carolina. So I said, God, if you give me this opportunity to leave, I will leave for you and I'll speak up on this topic. Because I went through abuse for a while, but it's this thing of unafumulia.
Yes.
You know, we get told,
wasijue
people
kitu
tell you,
inafanyika.
you're trying to save face.
Your marriage.
You're trying to save your marriage, you're trying to save face, you don't want people to know that you're struggling, but you're suffering internally. It was so bad that I started developing thyroid problems.
Oh, sorry.
So I ended up, they ended up removing my thyroid. But I was suffering inside. I knew I was suffering inside. I knew the kids were not comfortable. So when I got out of there, actually, he had left. And that to me was, I'll never go back. I will never go back to marriage again. And some people want to go back, but not me. I was too traumatized, and I do not want to go back. So I just don't feel like, to me, that was it. To me, that was it. So there's some people who would want to go back again, but to me, I wanted to live for my children. I wanted to be a mother and a father for my children. So I put aside everything. Like I said, my life is God, my children, and work. Because I knew the work is feeding my children. I knew that I needed a God to give me that faith to push when those days are hard, when I don't know where I'll get the next meal, when I don't know where I'll get what my kids need. So my children were my focus. So I looked at myself, I picked myself up and I said, you know what, no turning back. Being resilient, I was bouncing back. I focused on God. I looked at the purpose of my life. I really, really, really found time for my children. Spent time. They never missed anything. I saved money. They went on mission trips. They went on mission fields. They went on summer camps. So I did what I needed to do for them. So I tell women out there, I don't know what you're going through, but speak to somebody. Talk to somebody about what you're going through. Did you go for
any counseling? You had said San is Goko. Let me bring Sani for God. Did you speak to anyone?
Yes, I did. I actually went for counseling. I went to the church and I had good friends. So the other thing is have good friends that you can be vulnerable. Because a lot of them will blame you. Unfortunately, we're in a culture where something goes wrong, they always blame the lady. They always blame the woman.
She didn't stand up for her marriage.
No, she didn't stand up for her marriage. But the same, but nobody knows what you go through. So I'm very passionate about single parents because there's so many single parents from. Oh, was it Jamaica?
So
there
are
women who are single for different reasons, but just hang on in there, ladies, and take care of your children. Don't listen to what people will say. As long as you know your why, then keep doing it. We have so many women in the U.S. who have lost their lives. We have so many people here who have lost their life from abusive marriages. The athletes the other day. So we have people who are suffering internally, but they are not able to talk about. I think we're good, right?
Yeah.
So it's time to pull it.
Ama ni mimi niko na njaa sana.
Tukule tutakula sahi. Too bad sikulete mursik, imagine.
Kwani nani? Ai bana wewe ni aje.
I blamed on my mother. Mama yangu hakunitumia mursik. So madhe umeniaibisha, madhe leo umenikosea. Madhe amenikosea. I think this is ready to go.
Yeah.
Yep, they should be good to go.
I think you can serve the both and then let me serve it.
Yep, so go ahead, yep.
So you were saying something.
So I was saying, if you find yourself in a crossroad in life, just pick yourself up and never give up. Keep doing what you're doing. Focus on your why, and especially if you have children, just support your children. Let them do what they want to do. You know, I let my children do what they wanted to do. Did not force them to go into careers where they did not want to go to. I remember one of my youngest got some very good scholarships, but she really wanted to go to this women's college, private school.
Yeah.
So when she chose that, I said, okay, fine. It was a lot of money, but I said, I let her do that because I wanted her to go where she wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I wanted her to do what she wanted to do.
How has it been for you as a single mother, raising these two grown-ups right now?
It has not been easy. It has not been easy. Karibuni, tuta tukula ugali, this is good. Ubaya sikuweka soup sasa, lakini this should be okay, right?
Yeah, I think that should be good.
That should be good. I think so. It has not been easy, but I have wonderful children.
Yeah.
Because like I said, in the U.S. we have no maids, we have no drivers, we have no one. You know, after school, when the child gets sick, they call you. You have to go and pick the children up. You have to go and take care of them.
I hope ugali yangu.
I hope. It looks so good. I said to now mkono tukule kabisa. Okay, it looks so. Kongoi missing, and next time tutapata mursik.
I hope so.
It's all the way from Kapkoi from Mama. So
Thank
Mama tutalete mursik. And let's enjoy our meal as we continue the conversation. But yes, it has not been easy, but I love my girls. They're beautiful, beautiful young ladies. They love the Lord, they love people, and they love their mama, just like I love them.
Yeah, you are telling me just how easy it hasn't been raising those two kids as a single parent.
Yeah, it has not been easy, and it's not easy for anyone in the U.S.
Yeah.
Even here, I don't want to underestimate that. So I want to applaud any single parent out there, be it a single father, a single mom, because we're taking in a heavy responsibility. We're taking in a heavy load. So keep doing what you're doing, and if I did it, you can do it. Yes, just make time, and especially for our dear parents who are in the U.S., especially those who are in the nursing field or whatever field. Sometimes it can be overwhelming trying to work so many hours, and then in the process you don't have time for the children. I've had this from the youth themselves because I'm at KCFA, Kenya Christian Fellowship. I'm the Deputy Director for the Promised Generation. This is youth and college age students. So some of them will say, hey, our parents are working 2-3 jobs and they don't have time for them. So they end up raising themselves. So I do encourage parents out there to, cut down on their work if you can, and then make time for your children. Because, they grow up so fast. Look at mine. The other day they were 8 and 3, 8 and 8. They're 3 years apart. But now they're grown, they've moved on, and professional young women, they take care of me. So, how is food?
I love it.
Okay.
Especially the nyama. You didn't notice I had already started having a bite in the kitchen.
That's fine. That's what we do as women, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So, I miss ugali, I miss boga.
What would you advise, a couple that has a young family that has this opportunity to relocate abroad?
That's very important. So, of course, the opportunities are great. If you get that opportunity, take advantage of that. just make sure that when you get to the U.S., plan your schedule accordingly. Schedule time for the children, schedule time for yourselves, because you also need to take care of yourself, especially ladies. We don't do a good job taking care of ourselves. We're so busy taking care of everything else. So do what you have to do. The bills have to be paid, rent has to be paid, everything else. In the U.S. we pay for everything. We buy everything. So the bills have to be paid, food, everything, take care of that. But also make time for your children. So what we've seen in most cases is the father would work first shift and the mother works second shift. So whatever works, but just make sure that you are there for them. When you're home, be present with your children. Make time for them during the weekend. Yeah. At least make sure you have a day, have dinner together, have meals together. That's very important. Have meals together. Be there to help them with homework. Be there to go to school. They have a lot of parents meeting, visit with them at school. Have friends come over. I used to have my children's friends come over all the time. So be there for them. In fact, I remember I had a big car. They used to call it the Stormtrooper. So I had a big Nissan Pathfinder, and it was an eight-seater. So my kids used to love it. They call it the Stormtrooper because I used to put all the kids and take them to trips, go to the pool, go to the beach, go to the mountains. So after they grew up and all their friends are gone, they started driving themselves, so I sold my Stormtrooper. So those are the kind of things, is just being there for them, taking them to church. My children have been so good because of that foundation that we really stayed in the church. They were in youth groups, they traveled, whatever they did, I really it's sacrifice. It's a lot of sacrifice, but it pays off. It does pay off. Because I'm back now, they're all gone, I'm all by myself. I literally try to get them, it's like make an appointment.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, so it's crazy how life just turns out.
Where were you born and raised, Prof?
Okay, yes. I was born in Kapkoi, Elgeyo Marakwet. Actually, I was born in Tambach Hospital in Elgeyo Marakwet, KU North. I am the third born with a family of 9. I'm the first daughter.
How many girls? How many boys?
We are 2 girls, 7 boys.
Wow. Wow.
2 girls, 7 boys, yes. So
But you told me your dad passed on.
Yes, my dad passed on in 2008. He was diabetic and he had blood pressure. But he was a great teacher. Yeah. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She took care of everything else. My dad was a teacher. And he's the one, between the two of them, they made sure that we went to school. We never lacked anything. We had education, we had whatever we needed. So I do want to thank my parents. Dad, you're watching from above. I took up your profession. You are a teacher, and my sister and I are teachers. So we want to thank you, Mommy. You are just an amazing, you are a trailblazer mom. You have taken care of all of us. We have never lacked anything. After Daddy left, you're still doing your thing. And we love you. We call it, we love you to the moon and back. So we love you, Mommy.
Yeah, to the moon and back. Cheers to Daddy above. Do you have any plans to come back home?
Yes, I am actually open to coming back home. Now that my kids are grown, I can retire anytime. I've worked for the state of North Carolina for 22 years. Yes. So I've worked for the state. I worked for the state of North Carolina for 22 years, and I've enjoyed it. And if any opportunity comes back, I will come back. But the other thing I want to emphasize is you can serve your country from wherever you are. So if it means taking somebody's job, then I'm not willing to do that. But what I want to emphasize is you can serve your country from anywhere, anytime, where we are. That is what we do as scholars, as Kenyan scholars in diaspora, as students. We're always looking for opportunities to pay back and to pay forward. So even if I don't get that opportunity, but if I do, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to come back home and serve my country, and especially to spend time with my mom, spend time with my family, because I've been gone for so long.
Thank you so much for your time, Prof.
Yes, thank you. So enjoy the ugali. We have plenty. We have to finish it, because now to tangush it. So what do we do with the leftover?
We can't
You
finish
cooked a lot of ugali. You cooked a lot of it.
I just took your instructions because it's you who put the water.
So now we have to finish this
Ukulangi ile
ugali.
ugali melala wewe? Then you
Hatujui
can't throw
kukula
away
hiyo.
ugali.
Nitakula ile nyingine inaitwa nini? The leftover kwa sufuria.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you call it, maybe you call it
Yes,
Korean.
yes. Now, even this one, you can just wake in the foil and stack it in the refrigerator.
I know my kids would not eat, so I never saved that. Just cook enough for that.
yourself.
To
Oh,
myself.
yeah.
But
It's
it's okay. We have friends
All right.
coming up, so we'll always. I'll try it though.
Yeah, try. I mean, you can't be throwing away ugali, especially with the price right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the prices of unga, right?
You better reuse it.
So you come back tomorrow to cool the leftover.
Fuck you.
Kuja kesho tukule.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up for today. I hope you enjoyed the show and the cooking that we just did. Remember, if you have a story with a global recognition, please don't hesitate to write to us through globetraction@standardmedia.co.ke or DM us on our social media platforms @globetraction. You can also follow me at Pasil Telewa on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for more of behind the scenes and any other story making headlines on the global scene. Until next time, I hope to catch up with you again only on KTN News at 8:30 every Saturday. Bye-bye.